I was pretty nervous leading up to my second talk abroad conversation. I deliberately chose the same conversation partner as the first time. And the first time, I made to do the recorded preparations. The second conversation for chapter 10 ended up being about healthcare in Ecuador. One of the questions, the last question I asked in the conversation was, what's the best way of staying healthy? In regards to the answer to that question, I couldn't entirely understand it, though I was able to get the gist that you need to eat fruit. And yes, fruits are healthy. Thing is, though, I don't recall any of those being available for dinner at Harrison, or if they were available, I didn't look hard enough. They do offer salads, but that's in its own separate packaging, the salads. I'm preparing for the second talk abroad conversation. I did several Duolingo stories in Spanish. Spanish is the only language I'm trying to learn on Duolingo, but I assume that all these stories are available for every language that Duolingo offers. And they offer quite a variety, if my memory's correct. One of the stories involved a kid creating a misunderstanding with his father's girlfriend, making her think that what was really their pet bird was basically a second girlfriend. And at the end, Eddie, the name given for Junior's dad, went, "I know!" And then, "No, Penelope! Maria es nuestro Pereira. That was my best attempt in trying to remember that particular story. Now this cupcake and this is what I won for speed walking / running. And in the case of running, it's a slow run, because I can't maintain a sprint pace for that long. I hit 10 kilometers total over 4 runs over a week. With me completing the last run right before the challenge ended. It was pretty fun. I think I was one of only 5 Eagle Hall residents to do that. But the important thing is that I participated in that challenge and did something other than what I usually do. Perhaps speed walking, or going on a light jog would be a good way to clear up writer's block, perhaps. Perhaps. Oh, it's Heron Armored Train. The Slammers only convoy filled up pretty fast. What about for the Spider? That one's filled up too. Oh, there's a second Slammers only fire team for the veteran level. That's good. I might try and do that too. Except you can't really, the typing feature doesn't work if you have the game in full screen. Though if I get desperate, I may rename the team to Slammers and Friends. So this would be after a day of not enough people joining. The fire team consists of 5 players. And the clan convoys are currently all full. Oh, except this veteran warrior convoy. We got about 70 hours to do it. I basically pulled an all-nighter. I didn't go without sleep, but I think I only got 1 to 2 hours of sleep last night. Yeah, that choice was deliberate because I knew that it would be a bad idea to pull a straight all-nighter, because then I may have missed my intermediate Spanish class. As it was, I ended up nodding off in that class. And due to the exhaustion, I ended up not really wanting to be there. But the important thing is that I still tried to do my best. After my intermediate Spanish and after I got lunch, which consisted of if I remember correctly, I got a buffalo meatball sub. Though, I ended up not liking the sauce to the point where I made eating the meatball sub, if anything else contaminated with the sauce, hard for me to eat. And maybe I just wasn't in the mood for spicy food, or maybe I just found the sauce to be too salty, too savory, or too buttery, or too close to some kind of vignette salad dressing. Not really sure, but when I was done with that sub, I was grateful to be done with it. At Elvenar, I had to negotiate my way through my 25th province because I found it wasn't strategic enough to beat my opponents, the shady characters, and oddly enough, I've managed to make it to the advancing magic stage, the third era, and luckily this research technology has a whole lot of points required for it, because that gives me time to get the necessary resources for activation. And the golems are quite valuable. Though the seemingly constant need for resources is not exactly something to be desired. Still, it's a challenge to meet head on in one way or another. I certainly have some ideas. The second talk broad conversation went off more smoothly than the first study broad conversation, and definitely more smoothly than the first presidential debate this year. I just read out what I wrote down within my intermediate Spanish notebook. Today I also got the grade back for the informal presentation on my first study abroad, talk abroad conversation. I got an 85% on it, or an 8.5 out of 10, which did raise my weighted total to about 80%. But again, it's not enough for the A, which requires a minimum of 93%. The thing is, though, I'm thinking I can make it to where I want to get to by finishing up the chapter 9 grammar journals, and by always ensuring that I do the VHL Central assignments on time, because that grade hasn't been added on yet. And my participation is currently at an 8 out of 10, but I can raise it by always ensuring to try to be active in class. And on a similar vein, it's important to note that your participation grade will never be lowered, but you'll always have the potential to have it raised. Your participation grade is only intended to help you. This is where I'm at in regards to Game of Thrones. Winter is Coming. I'm currently trying to upgrade the market to level 20 so I can upgrade my castle to level 21. Though I also ensure to do some farmland upgrades because I need to increase my hourly grain production to offset the rising hourly upkeep of training new Tier 3 troops. Chapter 14 is subtitled as Oathbreaker. And it matches the name pretty well, because one of your tasks for that chapter is to attack another player. That may very well be the only time I do that. If you do what I did and join a fairly strong alliance, based on my experience, you won't have to worry about fighting or fending off attacks. Now, there was a point in which I repeatedly got attacked to the point where the wall couldn't even be fully repaired between attacks. I believe yesterday these cookies were called M&M cookies, but now they're called Carvel cookies. In regards to my criminal law class, while I avoided nodding off, I still felt pretty tired. I had some of this energy drink to decrease the chances of me missing the class through oversleeping, because I wanted to take a nap of roughly 3 or so hours between basically after I finish my lunch and 5 p.m., which is when my criminal law online class would start. I think I got 1 to 2 hours of sleep or so. Then I got all set up to take the class. I'm also trying to think of what to do in regards to the 99th day in Hamming. I'm thinking of making some changes to the extra scene to make it more realistic. I'm going to have to think on what to do. At some point, I'm going to need to upgrade this warehouse. The Knowledge Day event has been pretty weird for me so far. I mean, I generally haven't been able to figure out how I'm supposed to participate in it. I also had some of this splash water bottle. This splash bottled water to try and keep my lips wet, because I felt that being more hydrated would make it easier to speak Spanish for the second talk abroad conversation. Last night in particular, I went to clip my own fingernails. I figured out how to do it, though the resulting job made my fingernails pretty sharp. And I ended up accidentally superficially cutting this pinky finger about 2 times. Other than that, though, it was a pretty good fingernail cutting job, though I accidentally drew on myself with a pen, though it kind of looks like a big cut in a way. I did both of those things last night a lot prior to the Talk Abroad conversation.